Samsung didn't announce this on a stage, it didn't dominate tech headlines, and most Galaxy users still haven't noticed it. But this update quietly changes how Samsung phones behave at a deeper level. It's not loud, it's not flashy, and that's exactly why it matters. Hidden inside subtle settings are features that reshape control, speed, and personalization in ways Samsung rarely talks about openly. If you enjoy discovering these under-the-radar tech changes, the ones brands don't emphasize but that end up shaping how we use our phones every single day, hit like, share this with another Galaxy user, and subscribe. This channel is about uncovering the real story behind updates, not just reading the feature list. Let's start with the home screen, because this is where the biggest shift quietly happens. Samsung has finally loosened its grip on rigid layouts by introducing fully customizable folders. This isn't just resizing icons for aesthetics. You can now stretch folders vertically, compress them horizontally, or shrink them down to the smallest functional size. What this does over time is subtle but powerful. Instead of scrolling or opening the app drawer, your most used apps start living exactly where your thumb naturally goes. The phone stops forcing structure on you and starts adapting to your habits. That's a fundamental change in how Galaxy phones are meant to be used. But Samsung doesn't go all in without caution. Right after giving you freedom with folders, it introduces widget content scaling. And this feature reveals Samsung's mindset perfectly. You can now control how much information widgets show by shrinking or expanding their content size. Suddenly, a reminder widget can show more tasks, a calendar widget can display more dates, and your home screen becomes more informative at a glance. But the catch is that this scaling applies to all widgets at once. You can't customize them individually. This feels intentional, like Samsung is testing how much control users really want before the interface starts feeling cluttered. It's power, but carefully measured. Then comes the Edge panel, and this is where things get surprisingly strategic. The Edge panel used to be a simple app launcher, something many users ignored. Now, it's evolving into a true command center. You can add app-specific shortcuts, system actions, and even contacts directly into the Edge panel. That means instead of opening an app and navigating menus, you trigger actions instantly. Setting an alarm, opening a specific system toggle, or contacting someone becomes a single swipe and tap action. This drastically reduces friction, and once you get used to it, the phone feels faster without actually being faster. Samsung also adds adjustable edge touch width, and this feature might seem minor until you use it. Large phones are hard to use one-handed, especially when edge gestures require precision. By letting you widen or narrow the activation area, Samsung quietly improves accessibility and usability without changing the phone's design. This is software compensating for hardware realities, and that usually signals where future devices are heading. Even the gesture system gets a quiet but meaningful tweak. There's now an option to disable switching between previous apps using gestures. This might sound useless to some people, but for others, it prevents accidental app switching and gives more intentional control over navigation. It's another example of Samsung adding depth without forcing it on everyone. The Share menu also receives a subtle but important upgrade. You can now exclude specific apps from the Direct Share list and reorder how sharing options appear. Over time, this reduces clutter and speeds up one of the most common actions on a phone. It's not exciting, but it's impactful, and those are the changes that actually improve daily use. What makes this update special isn't any single feature. It's the pattern. Samsung is adding layers of control beneath a familiar interface. Casual users won't feel overwhelmed, but power users are quietly being rewarded for digging deeper. This is a shift away from one-size-fits-all design toward adaptive experiences. And here's the bigger implication. All of this is arriving through a module update, not a major One UI release. That suggests Samsung is experimenting, gathering feedback, and refining ideas before making them mainstream. If these features are well received, they could shape the core of future One UI versions and possibly influence how Galaxy hardware itself evolves. So the real question is this. Are these features just optional tweaks for enthusiasts, or early signs of a Galaxy future where phones truly mold themselves around the user? Let me know what you think in the comments, because depending on how people respond, the next update could push this philosophy even further and change the Galaxy experience in ways most users won't see coming.